It's Thursday night, so welcome back to the Caz and Daz show. My name is Darren, aka Daz, and I've been getting that wrong somehow lately, and I'm not too sure how. Today, on a really exciting show, we've got GB International Robyn Love on the show. As always, we're going to break down the weekend's happenings of the WNBL, including looking at some tables in a really naff fashion. Of course, WBBL, full of action again this weekend. WNBL Australia. We're going to take a trip around the world. We're going to go to Caz's Corner. It's going to be splendid. And we've got European basketball as well. Currently, we've got games going on. Ekaterinburg are, and this is going to blow your minds, they're winning. Let's get into it. Let's get into the show. It is Caz. It is Daz. That's not the right graphic. That's the one we want. It's Robyn Love.
Hiya, you all right? Oh, wrong way.
We've been doing this for about 3 months now, Cal, and we still don't know numbers is right.
Glad it's not just me.
So Robyn, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, really good, really good. Training today, so feeling a wee bit tired, but of course we've got energy for a podcast.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you on. Now, Caz, what is today?
Today is Thursday, and Thursday the 3rd of December, and it's International People with Disabilities Day 2020.
So obviously you are a wheelchair basketball international for Great Britain, and you also play for the Angels of the North.
Mm-hmm.
So I think quite fitting that you join us today. So let's start with just discussing your career, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, before basketball, what did sport look like for you?
Well, so I've always been sporty, love sport. When I was younger, I played football, tennis. Where I'm from Ayr in Scotland, where basketball wasn't very big at that time when I was growing up. Although I really enjoyed watching it and playing it in the back garden, but it just wasn't something that was available. And although I was born with a disability, so I've got arthrogryposis, which in summary is one leg shorter than the other, and I don't have very good quads, so I'm not very good at squats, basically, and a few other things, but that's basically it in a nutshell. So I could still do able-bodied sport growing up, albeit I couldn't really run, very fast anyway, and so I was quite good at kind of more stationary sports, like tennis, doubles, like half-court badminton. But when I was 17, I decided to take a gap year, but it wasn't like other people's gap year where they go to Australia or Vietnam and cool stuff like that. I decided that I wanted to lengthen my leg, so it didn't make me that much taller, unfortunately. But it did mean that I walked a bit better. And after that, I thought, I'm going to uni. I can't play tennis. I might hurt myself. So what will I do? Oh, I know. I'll try running basketball. I'll try basketball because that's obviously a non-contact sport and it's safer, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I don't know what went through my head, but that made sense to me when I was 19 years old. Who knows why? So I went to Wnba Napier Uni where I played running basketball, we call it, or able-bodied basketball. And, it's a great team, and that's why I mainly joined, for that team family environment, making friends at uni. But eventually I became the captain of the club, president of the club, helping run it. And it wasn't until after that I saw wheelchair basketball. It was one of my teammates from Napier that saw it on Channel 4 during London 2012, and she was like, "Oh, could you do that?" And I was like, "What is it? What is that? What are they doing? Wheelchair basketball? What is that?" And this time I was at the young age of 22, and I'd never seen disability sport before in my life. I had no idea it existed, didn't know it was a thing. A year later I contacted Basketball Scotland, Tina Gordon, amazing woman up there, and she basically got me training at 7 a.m. She was like, "You're going to go to GB. There's not been a Scottish person in GB for years, so you're going to do it, and we're going to train." And I'm listening to this woman like, is she serious? What? Okay, right, fine, I'll do it for you if you're really passionate about it. But as soon as I got in the chair and as soon as I played, you know, it's an incredible sport. It's fast, it's fun, it's a team, which is what I wanted to do it for. But Tina had other ideas, and lo and behold, she was right. You know, a year later, I was in Japan with GB at my first tournament. So, you know, hats off to her. and that's basically how I got into it.
And was that like just over a year after you'd got into it that you were in Japan in Osaka?
Yeah, it was. So I'd been training for that year, and I just luckily Tina got in contact with GB and said, "Hey, we've got this woman, got this woman, young 24-year-old woman, who is getting decent." And fortunately, you know, the coaches saw something in me at that time. They were going through a transitional phase after London 2012, so they had a few gaps in the squad, and fortunately my work let me get it off, and I was in Japan, and I've been 6 times now, I think, to that tournament, and it's always my favourite one because it was my first. And then in that summer I was selected for my first major tournament, which was the Europeans, which were in Worcester at home, which was also amazing.
And what was that like, going from picking up a sport to a year later representing your country just so quickly? And did you have time to take it in and enjoy Japan?
Yeah, you know, I still don't think I have taken it in 5-6 years down the line. I think with me, I just kind of take every day as it comes, and I just enjoy the moment when I'm in it. And that in Japan, I think I was quite lucky that was my first tournament, actually, because they do so much stuff there rather than just training games. We get to go to Japanese schools, and so we go into the schools and we teach the kids. They've got no idea what we're saying, but you just smile and thumbs up, and they're loving it, and they think you're like Harry Styles or something, and I'm just like, you know, it's incredible. So for me, having that as my first experience, it really kind of showed me that's the kind of extreme of it. And the next kind of tournament that's kind of higher up than that in terms of crowds and all kind of stuff like that is like the Europeans and the World, and then obviously Paralympics when you've got 16,000 people screaming.
So what do you think enabled you to go from having not played the sport to now you're representing GB in such a short window? Was it those transferable skills that you picked up from running basketball? Oh,
definitely. You know, I was fortunate at Napier. We had a coach, Grant, who was a great guy. We were at that time, they're in the Division 1 now. Now that I've left, they're much better. But we had a coach, and I'll always remember the stuff that he taught me when I first started. Rebounding being one of the main things, and that's one of the things that the wheelchair basketball coaches picked up on straight away, was my rebounding and just that timing that I had. Now I've been fortunate growing up that I could do PE alongside able-bodied people, no problem. In fact, I actually took it as a personal, not vendetta, but kind of I'm going to show you that I'm just as good as you, even though I walk this way, or like you think I can't do it. So I was always the one at lunchtime with a red face, sweating, you know, while all the other girls were just like. So I really do think that those kind of components help me. But also one of the key things that I think is a strength of mine is I'm not worried about looking daft or making a mistake, really. That's something that I don't know whether it was as part of my mum, my dad that helped me do that, or whether it's just part of my personality. But I really do think that if you spend time focusing on how you could improve rather than beating yourself up, you'll improve a lot quicker.
Absolutely.
So during your time, obviously, like you've said, you've played for GB all over the world, and you keep going back to Osaka. So just talk us through the timeline from getting in the team to getting in that first international tournament to, you know, walk us through your journey through till today.
Yeah, so one that was in January 2015. Yep, 2015. And then, so at that time, I was actually the sports president at Edinburgh Napier Uni. That was my job. I got elected to do that, fortunately, by the students. And I actually had to stop. I stopped early. You're meant to stop at the end of June, but I stopped early and I moved down to Worcester. And you know, it's funny, like, I never thought I'd move to England. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I just thought, oh, I'm going to live in Edinburgh because it's great, or, you know, I'll move close to air. But I moved 8 hours away down to Worcester, where I'd never really been. And it was a beautiful place. Worcester is lovely. So I'm quite lucky that that's where we were based at that time. And I was selected for the 2015 Europeans, where we got a bronze medal at my first tournament. So of course I was loving it. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really great tournament to be part of, especially, you know, it was at home. My family could come down. You know, I've got 4 sisters. So getting them all in one place is rare. So it was really lovely that my family were able to come and support me and watch me. And then after the Europeans, we stayed. So before Rio 2016 Paralympics, we were centralised in Worcester, which means basically you're training full time, Monday to Friday, non-stop, eat, sleep, train, repeat. Was our life pretty much. 7 in the morning training, 5 days a week. It was really hard. Yeah. And like you said, going from, you know, not really doing sport for fun, working, to doing that, I was a bit like, whoa. But at the same time, I was enjoying learning because I loved the sport. I can't emphasise how great it is. I really do like it, and there's so many different components that you can be learning. Of course, it's the same for running basketball, but you know, I really did enjoy learning, so I'm quite lucky there. And of course, on the run up to Rio, we went to Canada, we went back to Osaka. I think we went to Holland about 5 times. France, you know, we really go all over the world, which we're so lucky to do. And I went to Rio 2016, and there we came 4th, which is our highest ever finish. You know, got to that bronze medal game, which, yes, gutted to not have won. But to be where we were, the youngest team in the tournament, really proud of what we achieved there, and we really built from Rio. And for me, of course, being there, the people were brilliant. You know, Brazilian people are fantastic. You know, the crowds were incredible. People were dancing. They were just loving it. So for me, not only was it good basketball, but the experience was amazing. Unfortunately, my parents did get out to see me working and all that. But Laurie, my fiance, I guess, she's also on the team. I'm not used to saying that, you see. She's also on the team, and her mum and dad came out, and her dad was representing Love 15 on. He got a t-shirt for me, so so I appreciated that. I definitely had a fan. And actually, Tina Gordon, who I talked about at the start, who got me into it, and she actually bought me my first ever chair. She was there supporting me, cheering me on, which was unreal. You know, she said I was going to go there. I did go there, and she came and watched me. So, you know, you can't write it.
I think so. In a 3-year span, you've gone from, oh, wheelchair basketball's a thing, to, yeah, I'm just playing at the Paralympics, coming for
just in Rio.
Just in Rio, full-time athlete.
Yeah, no, I can't. So that's my dog that you can hear barking. I apologise. Yeah, that, I don't know. Like, even now, I'm like, how did that happen? How did I do that? But with sport, you know, it's a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck. I think I got lucky. You know, I got lucky. My mate said, "Hey, what's that? Can you do that?" You know, I got lucky that Tina Gordon is such an amazing person, and she saw something in me. I got lucky that the coach saw something in me, and there was a few people left after London. There was a bit more gap in the squad, you know, but at the same time, I worked bloody hard.
I hope you don't mind, Robyn. I put a comment in the chat saying if you've got a comment or question for Robyn, pop it in there, and you know, we might pose it to Robyn. The first comment has come in from Aya Kitchen Channel. What a mug! So there we go.
My face. This.
I'm assuming the wonderful
Yeah.
Highland cow mug. Sorry to sidetrack things there for a moment.
I thought you mean my face. So.
So, in the Paralympics, you came up against the Netherlands, and you said in the run-up you went to the Netherlands a lot. Have they become what's your relationship with the Netherlands basketball team, essentially?
A good one. They are a great team, with a great coach, and I enjoy playing against them. I really do enjoy it. I really look forward to it. Obviously, they're a team that we've not beaten in a wee while, but that doesn't matter to me. It's always about the next game, not about the last game. So to me, I really enjoy playing them. They're really nice people as well. The Dutch are really nice people, which when they beat you, makes it worse.
Are they really good about it? They're just like, oh, great game, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it worse. But to be honest, it's a real honour to get to play against such strong female teams, because in National League in wheelchair basketball, it's mixed men and women, and I'm currently the only woman in my National League team in Manchester, which is the Owls. Great team, great guys, love them of course, but I do relish getting to play with women against women, and apart from Women's League, which is 3 weekends a year with Angels of the North, who my family, I really do love that high level competition that we get at the international level.
What was the experience like in Rio? Just the games, the crowds that were there. Was it just a completely different experience to what you'd had before in Worcester and in Osaka? Was it like another level?
Yeah, I mean, I could be 2 foot from you shouting and screaming and you would have no idea what I was saying. Because you couldn't hear me. It was just so loud. And again, the people were brilliant. And Osaka is a great tournament because the kids just love it. They get all the kids in and they get them to do these dance moves. I'm sure you'll see it in Tokyo. And they just love it, which, again, I felt like that tournament really helped build me up to go into Rio. But I guess one of the major differences is there's a lot more interviews in Rio. There's a lot more kind of, you have to go here, then you have to go there, and then you can't go there, which was new for me, I guess. But I just do what I'm told. That's the best way to be, I think. Yeah, it was incredible.
Did they let you outside in Rio? Because we were talking to a player the other day, and they said they weren't allowed to go outside in, I think it was Romania, for fear of getting dehydration. Oh, really?
No, we didn't go venturing because we didn't have time.
Yeah.
So, as we know, basketball is both a marathon and a sprint. Our first game was the day after the opening ceremony, which we couldn't go to because our game was so early the next day. I know, gutted. So we couldn't go to that. Our game was, and then we had a game every single day until, I think we get 1 day off, and then, but you train that day anyway. And yeah, all the way till the end, or the second last day, and then the men play the last day. So really, there's not much time to do anything. But fortunately, some of the girls got to go out and scout. You go into like a holding camp before, for like a couple of weeks to, acclimatise, sort your sleep out, etc., train. So we did that in Rio, and some of the girls got to go out a few years before to scout that out. Now, unfortunately, this is when I had no idea that I was going to be in the team, so I obviously wasn't there. But I heard that Brazil is lovely, Rio is lovely. Laurie's mum and dad told me it was great, so I got to see it from the window, from the bus window. But, that's the same for a lot of the tournaments we go on. There's not time to do anything. But I'm grateful to be there. I'm there to play basketball. I'm there to play basketball and have that experience, which not many people can say that they've had.
That's incredible. How is it during the tournaments, like during the Paralympics, you've got games every single day? How much prep goes into the opposition, or is it a lot on, stop them, but this is our game, this is what we do? Like, where's the balance?
Yeah, I think every coach is different. depending on their kind of strategy. In Rio, we did focus a bit on the opposition, but I think we mostly focus on ourselves, because at the end of the day, you can only control what you do. You can't control who they put on the floor and what they decide to do at that time. So we did focus on it a bit, but I think moving forward, we're not going to stress that at all. It's going to be more kind of generic. This is how you play teams that play like this, and we're going to play more of a style that we can make decisions because we've got the basketball brain to do so, which I think is going to be our strategy going forward.
So after the Rio, and no, I've got one more question. Sorry, what was your favourite moment? I apologise. I do this. See, I've been audio for so long. What was your favourite moment from that Paralympic Games?
Oh goodness, there's so many, but at the same time, it's like a blur. Like I can't remember the games. I can't remember like score. I can't remember. There are a few moments which, like playing against USA was probably, we lost, but it was an incredible game. Like they shot 90 odd points, we shot 80 odd points. You know, it was just craziness. But for me, that was probably my favourite game. I feel like I played well in that game. You know, I'm quite a passionate player. So, you know, there's a nice clip of me being like, fuck. So, you know, I like stuff like that. But kind of off court, my favourite memory, I got interviewed after that game by Jordan, I think it's Jordan Bryant, does a lot of interviewing for Channel 4 Paralympics. And he said, oh, so what are you going to do after this? And I was like, well, we're going to go back, have a cup of tea. And here's me, this is my first kind of Paralympics, first proper interview, really. And I'm telling Channel 4 that I'm going home to get a cup of tea.
No, I rate that so highly. That's awesome.
Yeah. Which cup of tea?
And again, our kitchen channel rates the mug, so we like that. So you've had a really full-on schedule. So every single season, you've had a Euros or a Paralympics. So 2017, again, European Championships and another bronze medal. Talk us through that. Where was that? How was the run up to that?
Was that Tenerife? Was that Lanzarote? Tenerife, I think.
I've got Spain on my note.
Spain. It was Spain.
That's
it was
right.
Spain. Yeah, I think it was Tenerife. Yeah, it was really nice tournament. Just after the Paralympics, so we had a few changes to our roster going into that tournament. And you know, yeah, another bronze medal, another close games against the Dutch and the Germans as usual. And I think it was actually after that tournament, you know, we realised, hey, people have sussed us out. We've got to change. We've got to grow. We've got to develop. Laurie left that season. She left and went to work for the BBC. So we really missed her influence on the squad and what she brings. And fortunately, she came back for the Worlds the year after. Just because it adds a different dynamic to our team when she's in it. Don't tell her I said that. So yeah, so another bronze medal. What do you say? A great tournament, another learning one for me. Only my second Europeans. So for me, it was actually quite a good transitional tournament for my game. You know, I was changing my role a wee bit, becoming more of a scoring threat. So it was a great opportunity for me to demonstrate that when we had again, just I could squeeze my minutes up a wee bit on the floor.
Now, excuse my ignorance here. Is there a qualification process for European Championships? Like, how often is the GB team able to get together and camp or practice, play games, all this outside of these tournaments?
So again, until well, the lockdown pandemic, really, we've been a centralised programme. So we train Monday to Friday mostly together. We were in Worcester, and after Rio we moved to Sheffield at the EIS there, where we're based. We've got our own court. It's fantastic. There's a big, massive 10-foot image of me, which I see every day, which is lovely. Like shooting the ball. Yeah, so we're quite fortunate in that sense compared to other countries that we get to do that. But it's kind of tweaked a bit now since lockdown, but it was going to do so after Tokyo anyway. So I think they're bringing it in now because they realise that seeing each other every day, I don't think is the best thing.
So 2018 silver medal at the World Championships, like that's got to be, Caz, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that pretty much the best result of any British basketball team since like 1906, let's say?
in history?
None are jumping to mind. Anyway, how was that? Like world silver, that's just amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy, can't believe it. Well, I can't believe it, but at the same time I can't believe it. I think on the run up to that tournament, well, that's when we moved to Sheffield, so we had our own kind of training venue, and training had adjusted a wee bit. We were a bit more professional in what we did. But at the same time, on the run up, I'm sure some of the girls will correct me, but we lost. We had quite a heavy kind of pre-tournament schedule, going to Germany again, Holland, different places, France, and we lost 9 games in a row going into Worlds. So it wasn't all sunshine and roses, I can tell you that. We had to have a few hard conversations about how we want to play, what we need to bring, and we galvanised together because of that. I believe we really did come together, and I think it showed on court. And it showed in our mentality when we were playing. The semi-final against the Germans, unreal from the team. The defense was unstoppable. So proud of what we achieved as a team, and of course facing that orange team in the final, can't escape them. But I wouldn't have it any other way, to be able to play against a team like that in a final. Just awesome. And it was close. It wasn't, a blow away. It was a close final. And it's just exciting to see that, we went from 7th place in London 2012, 4th place in Rio, our series of bronze medals. Yeah. And then, of course, we came world second, which awesome.
I think, and again, same question as earlier. Do you have a highlight of that tournament or a moment that stands out to you?
For me, I think it was the energy that we all had, on the bench, that a lot of the girls had on the bench. We had our various chants and things like that, but you'd be surprised how much of a difference that makes. When I was on court, I could hear it, and it makes you feel taller, makes you feel bigger, makes you feel stronger, knowing that you've got 7 people behind you wanting you to do great. To me, that makes a massive difference. Having 4 sisters, I'm part of pretty much a basketball team anyway. So for me, it's like that. It's a band of sisters, and I was really proud to be part of that. And of course, I scored a few in the final, which I love scoring, so it felt good.
What's the support like when you go to other countries as well? Do the crowds tend to be quite, do you get some neutral fans that are just like picking a team and coming to support you guys?
Well, we're quite fortunate. The British brigade that come along are awesome because the men's and women's, usually the tournaments are together. So all the parents and friends and family, they make sure they get seats together. And if anyone tries to get near those seats, no. And at Worlds, our CEO, Lisa Pierce, she is the one that bought the drum for the fans to have to make noise as the Germans bring their big drums. And she said, well, if the Germans are having drums, we're having drums. So how often do you get that CEOs buying drums? I don't know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it just hearing them in the crowd, and George Bates, his brother's really good at getting the crowd going, and yeah, they're all just up in arms, wanting us to do well, wanting us to succeed, and they're part of that. They're part of the team.
We have another comment on the YouTube, which thank you so much. As me and Caz always say, Caz and I always say, get involved, let us know, get talking. iKitchen channel is back with love the moment when the whole team wanted Kayla Bell to score. Can you talk us through this?
Goodness, I'm sure she's watched that before me, but Kayla, great player. I think Worlds might have been either her first or second tournament. She's a 1.5 player. For anyone who doesn't know, shall I just run through what that means?
Yeah.
So basically in wheelchair basketball, every player is given points from 1 to 4.5 based on their functional ability. So how well they can move forward and back, side to side, and rotate. And of course, that's determined by their level of impairment. A 4.5 might be a below the knee amputee, club foot. A 4, to make it easy, above the knee amputee. A 3.5 myself, so my hips are affected, so that's why I'm a 3.5. And again, it just kind of travels up the body until you get to a 1-pointer, who is usually, it can always vary because there's obviously different impairments around, but they're paralysed from, I'm not sure I'll get it right, but from just above the belly button, I'll say, around about there, down the way. So their ability to move forward and back is very restricted. And Kayla Bell, she's a 1.5 player, so, and on court you can only add up to 14, so those 5 players can only add up to 14, so the coach has to be very good at maths. And so Kayla and I, she's a 1.5 and I'm a 3.5. Usually we're paired up together on court. And of course, any moment that one of my teammates scores, I love it. But usually it's not Kayla's role to score. She's more of a picker, or in wheelchair basketball, we do a lot of curling, where she'll get me and she'll do all the work and I'll follow her and I'll get all the glory. I'll get all the glory, but of course I'll say thank you after. But of course it is a special moment when players who don't necessarily score, it's not their primary role, whenever they get that chance and they make it, it makes me warm inside anyway.
We have another question from iKitchen channel, which I was going to say for later, but I'm just going to throw in now. Do you watch some wheelchair basketball games on weekend, like German or Spanish league?
Oh yes, I am an avid wheelchair basketball watcher. When I first started, honestly, it's all I would do. Laurie actually gets really annoyed at me and tells me to stop watching it. Because I just love it. It's a great sport. I love watching it. I love playing it. In Europe, so there's a professional league out in Europe, in Italy, Spain, Germany. Again, it's a mixed league. I've never went out there to play, but I've played in Euro Cup with the Owls. We're a charity-run club that train twice a week, going up against these professional clubs, which is awesome. Fantastic experience. But yeah, I really enjoy watching the Spanish league, especially a lot of the GB boys are in the Spanish league. You can check out on, it's La Liga BSR, that's the website, and usually the games are on tubuedestv.com. Now, TUPUEDSTV.com.
You can add that to our list of basketball links that we have.
That's going on the list. I've copied it already.
Does that show how much I watch it? No, I know the link. I know
that's
the
perfect.
link. That's how much I watch it.
That's so good. That's going in the comments right now.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch wheelchair basketball anywhere. And fortunately, like Women's League and National League has been streamed on BBC Online quite a few times in the past few years. And Women's League especially, I think, has a lot of views, which is obviously nice. And I think that we're trying to increase that partnership with BBC going forward, obviously when we can play games again, when it's safe to do so. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And so your GB teammate Helen Freeman plays in Germany.
Yeah.
Is that something you've ever thought you might like to do? Maybe in the future, go to Europe and play like in a league like that, or are you quite happy for the moment over here?
To be honest, it's not something I have thought about. Because my team, the Owls, we go to Euro Cup. I think it's like we have been. So we went to like the Champions Cup qualifiers, which is based on your year's points, and we have quite a lot of points because we've been in it quite a long time. We're quite successful, and we've been to quite high level competition over those weekends. So I've been really fortunate, and at the same time, I trained full time with GB, so I was getting to train with women, with the guys, and I was getting to go to Europe and compete. So really, I had all the cakes. I was eating all the cakes. So yeah, I was really enjoying that. But I think if I had the choice, like having experienced lockdown and the pandemic, I think it's made me realise that maybe it is something I would like to do. But I'd have to find the right team, I think, because like I said, usually there's only like 1 or 2 women on the team, and I want to be past the ball. Not saying that men don't do that, but
I know.
It's just natural. I understand it, but for me personally, I'd love to see a more professional women's league come into play, which I think British wheelchair basketball are trying to do. So I really want to be part of that journey and that process. Because although it might not be, high level initially, I think it will be in the near future, and I definitely want to be part of the start of that. But again, I wouldn't rule it out. Although one thing I would like to do, Laurie, my fiance and teammate, she played for Alabama Uni in America for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
She did that. Out there you can get academic scholarships or sports scholarships, at various universities, because wheelchair basketball is quite big there at the unis, and that's something that I wish I'd come into a bit younger and I'd done that, because I just think that would be incredible. So I'm jealous that she's gotten to do that.
With you saying it tends to be sometimes more men than women, what do you think? Why do you think that is, or do you think women are maybe just not as used to getting into sport younger, or do you think that's changing as well?
Well, I think in terms of like the pro leagues and the higher divisions, when you're up against men, it's harder. They are faster, they are stronger, so of course there's only going to be room for 1 or 2 women on the team. Now you do get a dispensation, so I'm a 3.5, but when I play in the National League, I get a 1.5 off, so I become a 2-pointer, which obviously helps the teams out. But there's a maximum points you can play. You're only played to 17 or 17.5. So it's not as if you could have loads and loads of women and men together. So just based on how the points work, because eventually there is technically a disadvantage to that. So I think that plays a lot into it. I don't know whether there just hasn't been a focus on having a women's only league. I don't think any one country has focused on that. Maybe they've not seen it as a priority. I think fortunately Britain is seeing it as a priority, because it can only make the international game stronger. The only way for women to play against women and train full time is to go to America, and they produce fantastic athletes. I mean, they've won quite a few Paralympic gold medals, the USA team, so they produce a lot of great talent. And Rose Holloman's out; she plays for Gran Canaria out in Spain just now, and she's doing a great job. She's a great athlete, but there are only a handful of women doing that at the moment. So for me, I think the more opportunities women get to play with and against women, the more women you'll get playing, or at least you'll see them more, because it's a confidence thing. You play against men, you're getting past these hard balls and they're faster than you, and it's just the dynamic of men and women. It's different. It is different, but I think that we're recognising that, and recognising that there needs to be change right now.
You're talking about the potential for a British professional women's league in Britain. I love a pie. I love a hand gesture, and I love a pie in the sky. absolute dream idea, right? What is stopping, if you were to set up this British professional league, of which Robyn Love would be at the forefront, would that enable it to be almost like a super league where you could attract the best players from around you, the best women's players from around Europe, around the world, to a professional league in Britain? Because from what I'm hearing from you, that doesn't exist. That opportunity doesn't exist. So if you were to make it, if you were to build it, people would come.
Oh, definitely. If you build it, people will come. Definitely, 100%. If you give people the opportunity, they will come. You know, I live in Scotland. It takes me 8 hours to drive to Worcester. I live in France. It takes me an hour to fly to Manchester. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think that there are women around the world who aren't playing full time, and maybe it's partnered up. Might not get paid lots of money. You know, it won't be like that whatsoever. It'll be, you know, similar to Manchester Mystics, partnered up with a university, I imagine, and you'd get scholarship athletes in through that, as well as homegrown talent, and you'd create it that way. It can definitely happen. It can definitely be a thing, 100%.
Well, I would absolutely love to see that happen.
I'll let you know when it does.
Please do. Please do. And if they need a commentator, I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, I'll write that down.
We have a question from Tina Gordon just come in. I've not read this in advance.
Oh no,
so
not Tina.
I know. Hey Robyn, what advice would you give to young players who have aspirations to represent their country? Thanks for the shout out, by the way.
I just thought our ears were burning. I thought our spine senses were tingling. Gosh, what advice would I give to young players? I would say, you know, for me, I wasn't young when I started. I was old, so I had to dive in straight away and move and train full time and quit my job and do all those kind of crazy things. But when you're young, I think it's important to have moderation in what you do. You know, I see the young girls coming through the programme now, and I want them to keep loving it. I want them to keep loving basketball, but I want them to focus on school. Really important, especially if they've got the opportunity to go to America and compete and play basketball at the same time. Well, you need good grades to do that. So if that's motivation, that's motivation. Boys as well, young boys can go over to America. I don't think a British male player has went over. Oh, Gaz Chowdhury has, I think he's went over, and he went to Illinois University, I think. But not many men have, whereas Helen Freeman and Laurie Williams both went over to the States, and Jude Hamer went over for a wee bit as well. So it's a bit more common in the women's programme. So I would say keep focusing on school, keep your friends, you know, because when you get in the team, I tell you what, you're not going to be able to see them because you'll be too busy flying all over the world and training all the time. And also, I think just focus on the fundamentals. You know, wheelchair basketball, there's so many different skills involved because of the chair and the ball. And for me, that's been the kind of toughest thing to perfect, and I'm still not there, trust me. For me, if you can sort your fundamentals out and get a good shot technique, I think a one-handed shot technique is the best shot technique, depending on your kind of functional ability. It varies, but if you're a high pointer, you know, get that good one-handed shot technique and practice when you're young, and always enjoy it and don't worry about making mistakes, because that's how you get better.
Yeah, this may seem... Sorry, firstly, Tina, thank you so much for your question. Any more, please get them in. This might seem like an obvious question, but what was your biggest hurdle in your transition from running basketball to wheelchair basketball?
Oh, definitely chair skills for me. You know, I think you forget to push it when you first start. You forget, you're going for a rebound and you're like, oh God, I can't get it. Oh yeah, I need to push this thing. Jeez. You know, my hands were sore, blisters.
Yeah, I saw a video of yours from the end of the first lockdown. I guess this must have been, and absolutely gnarly blister just all over there. Like,
oh yeah, that's a good one. You get one. You kind of get them like around here, because this is where you kind of the main kind of pressure points around there. Mine are hard now, but the trick is when they're hard, you need to moisturize them, because otherwise you get cracks. And trust me, you don't want a crack. No, you don't want a crack.
How much? So, talking about being in the chair and not, remembering that you got to move it. Like, how many just tipping over? Like, was there? Or are they fairly?
Loads. So my knees, I think I bashed my knee so much from falling out, I couldn't feel it anymore. Like, because you've got to break, so you've got to stop. Otherwise, that's what a charge is in wheelchair basketball. If you hit into someone, usually your back wheels come up. That's a charge. Just kind of run basketball. So I did a lot of charging, tried to get through some gaps that weren't there. But honestly, now I couldn't imagine not being in the chair. I've got one now. I'm with MP Matsunaga, Japanese company. Fantastic chair. Best one I've ever had. And it's really helped me to just feel at one. Sounds daft, but you really do need to feel the chair, and you need to be able to move it as naturally as if you're walking or you're running. So getting the right chair set up is really important. It can make a massive impact on lots of aspects of the game, especially your speed. If you've not got the right chair set up, you could be really, really slow. As soon as you get the right chair set up, you've cut 1-2 seconds like off your sprints, depending on what sprints you're doing. And that was certainly the case for me.
In terms of the shot mechanic, I'm sorry that if I'm asking you just some really basic questions, but like the shot mechanic, how different is it? You talk about one-handed shot, and how long was that adjustment period for you?
Well, I came in with I came in with my running basketball shot. The main difference, of course, is you can't jump. Don't know if you know that. Can't jump. So you've just got to develop more power in your arms, and it's one of those things you just have to do it to get used to it. It's not that you need to become massively strong. It's just you've got to get the right technique, and your muscles need to just adjust to it. And it took me a while. I was shooting quite close in. I couldn't shoot a free throw for quite a long time, but now I can shoot frees like no bother, and it really is all in your timing and your wrist action. So for me, like, I know I'm a loser when it comes to like technique and stuff. So like my wrist, I've got to make sure I get it further back enough so that I can get a good snap on it. Otherwise, kind of the angle's too narrow and my lever's too short. But again, I'm fortunate. I've got lovely long arms, so I don't know what it's like having short arms. I think you do need to be a wee bit stronger. I mean, we certainly do a lot of bench press and pull-ups and stuff to get strong. We are strong. That's my wee sister. Practice. Yeah. So for me, it is different depending on your impairment as well. A lot of people come in with two-handed shot, where it's more like a chest pass, but you finish with it kind of goes like that, if that makes sense.
A bit of a curveball shot almost.
I don't know what that is, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Next time you're in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I'll check it out. But a lot of people with two-handed shots are incredible players. Kylie Gauchi is an Australian two-pointer. When I first started playing, I watched her all the time. Low pointer, two-handed shot, just awesome. Really enjoy watching her play when I first started. So, everyone's got a shot technique. It doesn't matter as long as it goes in the hole.
Now, you, of course, play alongside and train alongside your fiance. How does that how does that work, and how does that feel every day going into the gym, working with your significant other, and also how does it feel being the British Van der Sloot Quigley?
I think we're just, ever since I've been in GB, we've been together. Got together pretty much my first senior camp. So for me, it's just the same. We are very professional in what we do. When we're playing, you wouldn't know we were together. I don't think personally. We try and be as professional as possible, of course. That's just what we're like as people. Now, don't get me wrong. On court, we can, because we are so close. We're able to kind of give and take a bit more than you would maybe with your other teammates. So, why did you do that? But to be honest, it's just made us stronger, and it's made us better players because we've just been able to be honest with each other. And I'm sure it gives our teammates a wee laugh as well. Like me and her are giving it, and they're all in the background. So, to be honest, I'm being grateful that I've had her because she works so hard, and she's a great player. She's an incredible defender, and like I said, my cheer skills were poor. Her cheer skills are probably one of the best in the world. So I couldn't ask for someone better telling me, "You're doing that wrong. You need to do this. push one more push." So I couldn't have someone better being that honest with me and telling me exactly what I need to be doing, because I really don't think I would be as good as I am if I didn't have her next to me telling me what to do a lot of the time.
So in 2019, another European Championships, another silver, and again our dear friends, the Netherlands, once again.
Absolutely, our dear friends. That tournament, great tournament, of course. I think that was one of the only ones where men and women were separate, so we had our own tournament, which was different. Nice experience to have that. Great crowds, great people. My sisters were able to come, which was fantastic. Loved having them there because it was, where was it? Rotterdam, I think. I've got 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Final to Rotterdam.
Yeah, Rotterdam. So an amazing place. Very fortunate to go there. And in the final, the Dutch again, but it was the semi-final against the Germans, which was, I don't know what you call it, squeaky bum time. That was, a very close game, tough game, but an exciting one to be part of. And again, the Dutch in the final. It's always a great game. You're going to get a great game. You've got to bring your A game, and unfortunately, our A game wasn't as good as their A game on the day. But it's all about the next game.
So go on, Caz.
Oh no, I was going to say I'm probably skipping ahead to what you're going to say. Are the Netherlands in your group in Tokyo?
Oh gosh, I should probably know that, shouldn't I? To be honest, see, once lockdown hit, I just kind of decided not to think about Tokyo because I knew as soon as it got postponed, I was like, well, I'm not going to think about it anymore. Yeah. So I don't think that they are.
So you're going to come to a.
Aren't I a great athlete, great GB athlete, knowing all the facts and figures going into the podcast? I'm sure if you Google it, it'll come up.
Yeah, no. But it's like 200 days away. Like it's
yeah. And we're going to face them eventually.
Yeah, in the final. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and you have to be able to beat everyone. If you want to win, you have to be able to beat everyone. So I don't care who we play. I don't care about an easy group, a hard group. I just want to play basketball because I love it. So I hope they are in that group. I don't know.
So obviously Paralympics was postponed. How was the prep going for that, and how is the prep going for the 2021?
Prep was going well. So just got back. We were actually, tell you a story. So we were actually in Japan, Osaka, of course, at the start of February, just as all this kind of coronavirus chatter was coming through, and we had a good tournament. Canada were there, Japan were there. It was a really good practice tournament for us. Get everyone playing, get us out on the floor. But when we came back, that's when it was like, oh, you might not be able to get off the plane. And like, what do you mean we're not? What are you talking about? It's just a virus. What are you talking about? God, this is silly, isn't it? And then, of course, we all knew a month later how serious it was, and we just couldn't believe that we were in Japan when we were. Just nuts. But fortunately, when lockdown hit, our programme did a fantastic job of putting everything online. Jumping up and down. Well, not quite jumping up and down, but, scooting around my living room, trying to keep my fitness up, lift my 16-kilo weights, because that's all I could buy from Decathlon, because everything was clearing out. Everyone was grabbing everything. And then, we found out it was postponed. And it's quite funny because we were going to get a dog after Tokyo. Like, oh, well, what will we do? What will we do if it's cancelled then? Or postponed, whatever. We'll just get one. Let's just get one. Okay. 2 days later, postponed. Me on the phone. And then, of course, we got little whiskey. So we had something to keep us smiling throughout lockdown, and we've got a little fan back at home when we are in Tokyo.
So, iKitchen channel is back in. And again, thank you so much. Please, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. So sad the next Osaka Cup is 2022. 2022, that's not that far away. Osaka Cup, just around the corner after the next Olympics. Paralympics,
yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, because right now, so we still can't pass the ball to each other, at least in our training, so we're unable to do that. I know.
That's a problem, isn't it?
Is that a tier thing? Is that because of where the ball is in relation to your face? Like, what's the reason
I think
there?
It's just...
Sorry, that's a serious question. That is a genuine question, but I've got no idea.
Too close to my face.
I don't understand the logic there, because, on Saturday, I'm commentating on FocusHoops and Ruskin basketball, and you guys aren't able to pass the ball.
It's different governing bodies, different regulations, different people writing policies. And to be honest, I'm more than happy to not pass the ball if it means down the line that we've got a squad of like 15 plus maybe. I just want to make sure we all get to Tokyo. I don't want anyone to get coronavirus. And if it means that we don't pass the ball yet, that's what it means. Because I know that we're working on some great fundamentals at the minute. Working with Haj Bania, who's the men's head coach, and overall kind of coach lead within GB, fantastic coach, the guru we call him. So I'm just grateful to be having this opportunity to go back to fundamentals and learning that from him. So when we're at that next stage, I'll look forward to that as well. But I'm just going to, like I said, do what I'm told. And if it means that no one gets coronavirus, I'm more than happy to do that.
Absolutely.
Very fair. During this lockdown period, now when you're not able to pass, you're talking about the fundamentals. Is there anything from, obviously you picked it up, as we said earlier, at a later age? Are there any of the real core things that you're maybe picking up, not for the first time, obviously, but taking this chance to really hone those fundamental skills of the chair, etc.?
Oh, definitely. I think taking it up at I like it. You could say old age. No.
I didn't say that. I never said that. Whoa. We'll run this tape back.
Tell it was on your lips.
No.
Taking it up when I did, I think you just miss out on the subtleties. Little kind of shoulder fakes that kids kind of pick up when they're younger and when they're just, messing around with their friends, and then it becomes a part of their game because they realise that it works. So for me, that's what I'm kind of working on just now, just being more, now I can control my chair, I'm now just being more relaxed in it, and developing those subtle skills that will make a big difference, I hope.
I've got a couple of relatively generic questions that I always ask people. Caz, have you got any other questions before
Yeah. Yeah, so for people that have not watched wheelchair basketball before, and obviously, they might see this and think, I want to watch it. Obviously, they want to watch you and support you guys next year. Who do you like to watch? Who do you think is coming through the program and that is someone that people should check out and try and watch?
As in, like a female player?
A female, anyone, but a female one, really, I guess. But if it's a guy, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's tough because there's not as many streams available. So, like I said, women's league's like 3 times a year. So you can find footage of that on probably the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube. And some of it might still be on BBC Online. Younger players who are coming through at the minute, Beth Wheeler, who plays for my Angel of the North team. She is an angel. She's a great player. She's also come from running basketball, and she just knows the game. She's an absolute baller. She's one of those that just turns up. What is it? All right, okay, score, score. Who are we playing? The Dutch? Oh, score. She's just like absolute. We call her clutch because she can just score. But she's also just so chill. She just makes you feel chill, which on court is a really nice feeling. So shout out to my angel there. I guess you'd watch that, maybe the BWB YouTube or BBC Online, maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, female player, I really enjoy playing with Beth.
Cool. And what's the best piece of Encore advice you've ever been given? For playing Encore?
Dan Johnson, who is my Owls coach, he's also a GB men's Paralympic silver medalist. Great guy. He is one of the best coaches I've ever had in terms of kind of positional play, and the best advice is it's the most simple thing. In wheelchair basketball, it's not hard. You just watch where the help comes from. That's probably the best piece of advice. Where's the help coming from? That's where the shot will be. So for me, that was the most obvious thing of the help. Usually in wheelchair basketball, you've got a pick and roll on one side with a strong shooter and a good pick and roll player, and then a scorer at the top. Now, if they help from the top, the shot's going to come from the top, or if they help from the far side elbow, then the shot's going to be from there. So for me, that was the best piece of advice when I first started, is where the help's coming from.
Cool.
We have another comment, and I think a bit of a challenge here from Aya Kitchen Channel. I started playing wheelchair basketball with the age of 40. It's a sport for everyone. How about you two, Daz and Caz? I like the way this way around has been put.
I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I think it's Caz and Daz.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean,
I would love to give it a go.
It's something that, yeah, of course, it looks like an awful lot of fun, and I'd be fully up for giving it a red hot go.
At a couple of our practices, we have like a drill, and we have to sit down and shoot. And I'm yet to make a basket. It's so hard. It feels so hard.
It's hard when you're not used to it, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's like you were saying before, it's the technique as well, because it's not quite going as high as I wanted to.
Yeah, honestly, the more relaxed you are, it'll go in. So if you tense up, then it's definitely not going to go in if you tense up.
I think because you're sort of sat as well, and you're thinking, it's exactly. Yeah, as soon as we get back on, I'm sure we'll have that on our.
Well, practice. I'll tell you what, I've got a few chairs. I've got 2 chairs. If you can fit your bums in them, then you can definitely, when it's safe to do so, we can absolutely sort that out. No problem. I'm based in Manchester. We'll get you up from Cambridge, Daz.
Let's do it.
That sounds like something that needs to happen. We'll get our guy Adam Masters from Brand 161. He will be. Oh, that sounds like a feature for him.
That's absolutely my mate. Don't you worry.
There we go. Ads is gonna look at that. I'm for that, Caz.
Get it in the diary.
Let's do that. Let's do that. That's awesome. So first off with my sort of wrap-up questions, what's your condiment of the year, Robyn?
Condiment of the year.
Yes.
Frank's buffalo hot sauce.
Yes. I'm pointing again. That is the good stuff.
Yeah, not the cayenne pepper one.
But
the buffalo one, which you cannot find in many shops these days. But
I'm just saying my local Tesco's has it in abundance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jealous. I just went to Costco and got 2 massive litre ones.
That's good. It's my Caz laughs. I don't know why Caz laughs at that question. It's my favourite question.
Actually, I think it's a great question just to throw out there. After all the basketball talk.
Absolutely. So sometimes I throw that in at the beginning, and depending on how people feel, they're just like, "What is this?" Just disconnect. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Where is your favourite place to play basketball?
It depends what I'm doing. So if I'm training, like just me, then I really like Bellevue, like the National Basketball Performance Centre in Manchester. Mainly because during the day when the schools aren't in, it's literally just me and Laurie at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and 3 sexy basketball courts that they've got there. And
such a nice venue.
yeah. I get my coffee beforehand, my wee mocha from the machine, and then we go in and we shoot with 3 beautiful basketball courts just for us, which is what more could you ask for?
And to play?
Of course, it's nice to play there as well. I play there with the Owls, the Owls Wheelchair Basketball Club, which is my National League club. We play and train there, which is lovely, especially because we get the standing baskets when we play. So usually that's not the case. We have like the swing ones from the wall in a lot, and like my previous clubs, and at GB training as well, we've got those. So it's nice to have the Sheldy, don't know what they are, but nice freestanding baskets. But I have to say, big arenas are amazing. Of course, Rio was incredible. I think if my wee sister's still watching, she knows I've got a talent where I can be like watching telly, right, and I can hear nothing. No one can interrupt me, and even if they're shouting my name, I can't hear them because I'm just on it. And I think that talent came with me to Rio, because I honestly couldn't hear the crowd. I don't know if that's the same for every athlete, but I can't hear them, but I can feel the energy. So it's nice.
And do you have any basketball idols, either or somebody that you look up to, or just a team or a player that you really enjoy? And that can be running basketball, that can be wheelchair basketball, it can be both. It can be.
Oh, good question. When I first found out about wheelchair basketball, Janet McLaughlin, who plays for she used to play for Canada, she now coaches one of the pro teams in Germany, Landale, who I've played against a few times with the Owls, which is pretty cool as a female coach coaching a basically all male team, bar one or two females who play for them now. She 4-5 player, just awesome scorer, awesome rebounder, and I was just like, that's exactly what I want to be like. Just lights out scorer, machine rebounder. I thought that's exactly what I wanted to be like when I first saw it, wheelchair basketball. And Kylie Gauchi, who I mentioned earlier, who could pass a ball like nothing else. I thought she was awesome guard when I first started watching it. And now Laurie and I, we actually watch a lot of international running basketball. So we actually went to let me get this right, went to the Worlds in 2018.
The women.
Yeah.
In Tenerife.
Yeah, in Tenerife. Yeah, we went there, Tenerife, and that was a great experience. And one of my favourite players is definitely Wnba Messelman from Belgium. Yes. just absolutely sick. An all-rounder, can score, can pass, inside, outside. And of course, we like the Mystics. in the Washington Mystics because she plays for them, and Deladon plays for them. Laurie likes Deladon, I like Emma.
Dream
she
team.
She actually follows me on Instagram, I think, Emma Messelman. Claim to fame.
That's big.
Claim to fame.
That's big.
Laurie was really jealous when that. Really jealous. Yeah. So, but then I've got a few. But then Liz Cambridge, the absolute pantomime that is Liv Cambridge. Amazing. Just to be there in person while 30,000 people boo her when she's shooting a free throw, and her just being like, what, and I'm like, yes, you legend. So and she makes the shots. So for me, I've got a few. I think a few women that I definitely look up to and admire for their basketball on court and off court.
Have you ever played in a game where somebody has been ejected whilst taking free throws?
No. Is that a very specific question?
Well, you brought up Liz Cambage, and that's what happened in the Commonwealth finals, of course.
Yeah.
It's just pantomime.
Yeah. It is a fact. She got ejected, I think, at Worlds as well. But I think when you come from like the WNBA, where you've got the crowds giving it to you and you're allowed to give it back, and then you go into international basketball and the refs are like, give her a technical for being like, what? It's,
Yeah.
I think it's tough to go from, because it must be a persona. You have to have that. You have to be tough.
Yeah.
Having 30,000 people booing you. You
just being like, I'm not phased.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So for her to have to change what she's like, I think would be really hard.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's a character, or maybe that's just her personality, I don't know. But I certainly admire her toughness, being able to put up with that. So it's a really exciting to watch her, and definitely watching her live is brilliant.
She's playing in the WNBL at the moment in Australia. She had a game this week. She played 17 minutes and scored 29 points. And just didn't need to play the rest of the game.
How many rebounds did she have?
And I think she got a technical as well.
Most likely. Before you go, and this has been awesome. Got another question from Hayley Love.
That's my wee sister.
How does it feel to be the favourite child, because you're all famous now?
Oh, I'm not the favourite. She's having a laugh. I'll tell you that right now. No, I can just tell you. Do you know what she'll be? I'm surprised she didn't write, what is that accent about, you absolute idiot? Because, back home, obviously, I sound a bit different. You have your telephone voice and you have your home voice. And because I live in England, I'm permanently in my telephone voice. Because otherwise, no one would understand what I say. So I go home and she's like, what's that accent? Yeah, so I'm surprised she didn't write that, but I promise you, I'm not the favourite child. Yeah, definitely not. Hayley and Alice are probably the favourite. They're the ones that are just. I'm in the middle. I've got two younger ones, two older, and I think the two younger ones are probably the favourite. But if she thinks I'm the favourite, then that's fine.
It's often the way.
Yeah.
So again, before we let you go, and again we've stolen so much of your time, and so grateful. We have charity segment every week. And this week, Robyn, can you please tell us about the charity campaign that you've been involved with?
Yeah, absolutely. So the GB Women's Wheelchair Basketball team have been involved with the Trussell Trust, which are food banks. Basically, a lot of the food banks are run by the Trussell Trust. And we, in the past, have raised money and collected food for the Trussell Trust and for our local area, which at that time was Sheffield. But now that we're all spread out, obviously because of the pandemic, we are raising funds and collecting donations from our local area. But I really would recommend you donate to your local food bank. The best way to do it would be at your supermarket. Usually at the end of the checkouts, there will be a little food bank trolley or box. I donated at my local Sainsbury's last week. You can find all the information of what types of items to donate, i.e. no fruit and veg because it goes off. What types of items that they might need, like shower gel, Tampax, stuff like that you're surprised that people need, but that costs money, stuff like that. And people do need it. And during these times, unfortunately, a lot of people have been hit hard by this pandemic, and people need help. They need your help. They need my help, because one day it could be you, it could be me that are going to these food banks. And I really do think it's important that we support each other and we help each other during these times and during other times as well. So yeah, please donate to your local food bank. Easiest way is at your supermarket. Tesco, Sainsbury's, other supermarkets are available also.
Thank you so much. And links to information about the Trussell Trust. There we go. We're going to put that in the description to this video, and we'll share out some links on Facebook and our social media this week. Robyn, where can people find you on the social media? On the social media, I don't know if you can see, but I tried to be really strategic and put it there.
Oh, I don't know if you can see that.
Let's see what we can do. Hang on a minute. Why can't I use buttons? That's like, yeah. Do you want to talk us through what's behind here just for a second?
Oh yeah.
We've got so what's the jersey?
That's my jersey. So that's from Worlds and Euros. I think we're getting a new one going into this new season. And then that's my Instagram or Twitter, which is Robyn_Love 13. It's 13 because that used to be my number when I was at uni, and I didn't know that I'd be playing for GB and being number 15, so that's why it's 13. That is actually Laurie's Alabama graduation certificate, but it just looks really good, so I thought I'd put it there. And that is my MVP ball from the Women's League All-Star, which I got a few years ago. Very grateful to get that award. And nice. That, don't know if you can see it, is actually like a little 3D puzzle of Old Trafford, which I got for Laurie for Christmas. She's an avid United supporter, so.
Oh. Good taste. So, Robyn Love, just a huge thank you for joining us this evening on Focus Hoops, Caz and Daz show, of course. We would
that way around.
That way round. It's what? Yes. Okay. That way round. We'll discuss this a bit further. For season 2, it's changing. But no, thank you so much, Robyn. It's been absolutely amazing hearing your journey, hearing your story. We're going to be here, supporting you every step of the journey moving forward, and we would love to have you back on. Cannot wait to see you guys being able to pass the ball to one another and get playing again.
Yeah, if I remember how to pass the ball, I'm sure I do. The wall has been a great partner so far. I hope that the girls are as good as the wall. I really do. They've got a lot to live up to.
All right. Robyn Love, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
No, thank you. Absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed it. More than happy to be on again. Thanks for supporting wheelchair basketball. The more we tell people about it, the more people watch it, because it is awesome.
It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
I just want to say, just before you go, is there one game that if people could find it on the YouTube, let's just say that, go and watch that game, because that is a great advert for the sport.
Ooh. I guess the more recent ones, like our Europeans or Worlds. If you want to see an absolute defensive domination display, then our semi-final at Worlds in 2018, just absolute fantastic chair skills from the squad. You could also watch the final. I score a few points in that. We obviously lose, which is disappointing. But sometimes the games that you lose are the most fun to play in, unfortunately. But it was a great game. Our game again. I'm reeling off loads. Sorry.
No, perfect. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, basically there's a lot of games on YouTube that you can find. Head to the British Wheelchair Basketball YouTube or the IWBF International Wheelchair Basketball Federation YouTube. FIBA actually have some games, a lot from the Paralympics on their website. You know what to Google. GB Women Wheelchair Basketball. That's what I would do. I would give that a Google.
And it's all going to be good stuff. It's all in gold. Watch out for number 15, wearing the headband, rocking the headband.
I know. Sorry, people won't recognise me because I'm not wearing it. I've probably freaked people out because I'm not wearing it. But I probably should have done because I've not had my hair dyed in a year, and my roots are all the way back here. So I probably should have worn it.
Robyn Love, amazing to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us on the Caz and Daz show.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Cheers.
Take care. I've lost my wave there.
Oh,
I need to...
How fun was that?
That was super fun. That was so interesting. I really enjoyed speaking to Robyn. That's great.
I know that after this, I'm going to go and watch a bunch more wheelchair basketball because we're going to get a chance to play some wheelchair basketball. Caz.
That'd be awesome. And when I beat you into the ground with all my practicing shooting now, when you lose, it's going to be really good.
Mate, I don't know how to tell you this, but you will win, and it's not going to be hard for you to do that. Though I have been practicing my shooting with Jasmine July. I've learned the T technique. Hayley Love says Hamburg for I think a game to go and see in particular. Cool. And Aya Kitchen Channel says Euro Rotterdam 2019 against Germany as a game for you guys to go and check out, watch on YouTube. Hope I can watch you play on YouTube. We're gonna make that happen. If we get in a chair, we are getting it recorded because I need to see that. Okay, we're gonna have a real quick break just to hear from our sponsors. Notch allows us to recharge our drinks, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds. Don't go away. Word from our sponsors, Notch, the mark of achievement, and we are very glad to have them on board with FocusHoops this year. They make fantastic bracelets that look super stylish and really help you celebrate your sporting achievement. They've just launched a basketball collection, and we're really excited to be on board with them. Let's imagine that you're a player. Let's say that you're Courtney Vandersloot. You got 18 assists in a single ball game, and you want a notch and a bracelet to commemorate that fact. Well, you can do just that. Customize it to your team colors, put the year that you achieved it, and get it the exact size that you need. There are a number of the colors available. Or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're the coach of a basketball team. Let's just say that you're the London Tyrannosaurus Rex. Your team wears red. You had the league's most valuable player, the MVP, and you want to celebrate that. You want to award them with a great looking notch bracelet. Well, you can do just that. And you can get it saying MVP on the notch itself. That's the charm. You can get the colour you want. Gold is one that I'd go for if we're commemorating the best player in the league. We could even get the team logo, if it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex, let's say, on there. And present it in a beautiful presentation case. Huge thanks for Notch for coming on board FocusHoops. And we're back. And I'm in my Notch bracelet. And I've just ordered another notch. I'm going to be ordering yet another notch to add to this to commemorate the year. What's that?
What's it going to say? What's it going to say? What's this notch going to say?
It is going to commemorate some commentaries, actually. Some important commentaries in my career, in my life of living the absolute dream. Which, I don't know. This is bad. Anyway, we move on. We move on to the Women's National Basketball League. And I think, Caz, if it's okay with you, we're going to be a little bit brisk on this week because Robyn Love was amazing. And we don't want to take people's time too much longer. So let's just look at Team of the Week for this week. So as always, as you know, we, in partnership with Basketball England, come up with the team of the week every week for the Women's National Basketball League and for the Men's National Basketball League. They got Chris Hughes from Rebound doing it, so that's awesome. So, big shout out to Chris and what he's done over there. Let's have a look at what we came up with as Team Focus Hoops this week. And there it is. Christina Velke leading the way for Team Silent Kestrels. Maddie Burdett making it to Team of the Week for the first time. Harriet Wellham back again for, I think it's the very fourth time. Don't worry if I write checks. I write rhymes. Robin Ainge making it in for the first time as well. And Satota Jimenez Espinoza back to back, making it in 2 weeks on the spin. Now, Maddie Burdett, I just want to talk about Maddie Burdett. Obviously, we know she's a flamethrower of a three-point shooter. But I've been actually surprised a little bit with how much her teammates have come out this week being like, yes, it's about time. She got recognized. They have gone to town on her being in this team. And that's awesome. That is great to see.
It is. That's what you, as someone on a team, that is what you want your teammates to be like. That's amazing. That kind of support there. That's fantastic. I
absolutely love it. And again, here at Focus, we encourage that kind of support, that kind of chat about people. Caz, briefly, did anybody dive out to you this week as one of our Team of the Week members?
I think, Harriet Wellham, how many times has she been in this Team of the Week again? She's just so good. She's fantastic to watch. What did she have? 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And Ipswich, we've said it before, they're this kind of team at the moment to beat. And they've got so many pieces together. And this week it was Harriet Wellham.
It was tough to decide between a couple of players. We've got an honourable mentions list that's quite lengthy this week, as it often is. Ipswich have brought back Coco Leung, so that's another piece that they've just re-added. So the rest of the league, watch out. Good, really impressive win for Ipswich against Worcester Wolves in Worcester. First loss of the season for the Worcester Wolves. They had the game in hand, not in hand, but they started very strong, and it was their game for the first quarter of the Wolves. But then, end of the first, start of the second, Ipswich started to do Ipswich things, and they ultimately took a pretty comfortable victory. Really impressive performance from them. Now, we've not spoken much about the player of the week. It's Christina Velke. Christina Velke, 19, 10, and 7. She is not only player of the week with her efficiency of 30, she is and I've not done a graphic for it yet, but she is the bus driver of the week.
Yes.
Again, we need to get her. We need to up our Photoshop skills. Other photo editors do exist, and in fact, I use a different one, Pixlr skills. But yeah, just did a little bit of everything. Huge performance from her in the win over the Nottingham Trent University. And again, that was an important game. That was a very interesting game. Nottingham Trent, the first double header of the season, and they didn't bring their best stuff down in Southampton, and it ended up costing them. And we can say that, and that's not shade at anybody, because we've got an interview dropping tomorrow where we talk more about that. That's all I'm going to say for right now. It was with Vicki Gray. That's all I'm going to say for right now. Other results this weekend: Loughborough Riders women 72-53 win over the Thames Valley Cavaliers. Thames Valley, their first game. Interesting to see their roster composition. They've still got players coming in, so we're going to see how they shake out. They're confident. They're talking a good game. Their coaches are, at least. So we're going to see how they go down the journey. Obviously, very difficult start to life for them this season. The Worcester Wolves 63-75 loss to the Ipswich basketball at home. Again, like we said, good first quarter, but then Ipswich just took over. Wolves didn't shoot particularly well. I don't think they played at their best. Now, is that Ipswich making it difficult for them? That's a conversation that we're going to have hopefully next week with some people from Ipswich. And then on the Saturday, Nottingham Trent University 71-66 victory over the Reading Rockets. A good, healthy victory over now the Reading started off a little bit shaky this season, but I think they've really started to come into it, and they are going to be trouble. And then one game on Sunday, Solent Kestrel's 75-66 winners over Nottingham Trent University at home in Southampton. Obviously, player of the week, Christina Velke. It's just really strong performance from historically one of the strongest sides in the league. How does that leave the table? Leave the table. That is what I wanted to say. Those are the words in the correct order. Let us take a quick look. And are we going to do it with a fancy graphic? No. No.
Can you just jump into it?
We're just going to jump into it. Here it is. Ipswich are still top 5-0 record. Are they going to go unbeaten? Are they going to go 22-0? It's a long way yet. Caz, what do you say?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. Why not? That's a wild hot take.
That's hot. That is a hot take.
An unbeaten Ipswich will come back in 17 weeks.
Worcester Wolves second, 3-1, 3-2 NTU. Solent Kestrel's also 3-2 in fourth. And down at the bottom, we've got Barking Abbey. They are 0-4 currently. TVC only played one game. They're in 11th. Bristol Academy Flyers 10th, 0-2. Cardiff yet to play. Those were the games from, let's just get this. Boom. There we go. Nice. Games this weekend. We have, where are my schedules? Right. This weekend, we've got 1 p.m. tip-off. Speak of the Devils, and the Devils shall appear, or should we say the Archers shall appear. Loughborough Riders women at home to the Cardiff Met Archers. That is Sunday, 1 p.m. tip-off. Very interesting game. Looking forward to seeing what Cardiff are about this year. Remember, they won Division 2 South, and they won it well last year. So very interested to see how they go. They have had a long journey, long road to get here. We will see how they go. Thames Valley Cavaliers taking on the Reading Rockets. That's at 3 p.m. tip-off at Uxbridge College. So their first home game of the season. And again, local derby. That's going to be a good game to watch. Live on FocusHoops on our YouTube live, Facebook live, where you may be watching this right now. So just make sure that you hit that like button. Saturday afternoon, 3:30 tip-off. Anglia Ruskin University, Team Solent Kestrels, ARU, one of the most dominant teams in the division the last 2-3 seasons. Team Solent Kestrel, one of the toughest teams in the league. They're coming together. They're playing. ARU haven't played in a month. They've not played since before the last lockdown. It's exciting times. Do they have some players? Oh, they got some players. It's going to be a great game. Cannot wait to commentate that. That's at Kelsey Carriage Sports Centre as well. Why is that significant? That is where this guy started his commentary. Also, it's where they played a really tough semi-final that they beat Oxford Brookes University a couple of seasons ago to start their journey. And finally, 4 p.m. tip-off, Nottingham Trent University taking on the Worcester Wolves. Again, at home at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. One game Sunday. It is 1 p.m. tip-off. Ipswich, Team Solent Kestrels. Team Solent Kestrels on that back-to-back, going from ARU to Ipswich. That is tough. Also, I wonder, do they travel over and stay over? That's a question to ask.
It's a question, yeah.
Because that's an awkward V. That's a lot of time on the road. I wonder. Anyway, that is WNBL. I think that's all we've got time for with WNBL this week. Caz, Mystics. What's going on? What's going on with you and the Mystics, Caz? What's happening? Talk to us.
So, the Mystics played Nottingham on Saturday. First home game for the Mystics at Bellevue. We finished with so this was the cup games. Mystics needed a win to go through, a win by 12, and they also needed Leicester to win the next game. Didn't happen, didn't work out how they wanted. Nottingham won 101-75 because Jasmine Joyner and Chelsea Shumpert scored 66 points between them.
They're a bit good, eh?
They are a bit good, and I tell you what, watching them that was impressive. Jasmine Joyner had 37. She shot 17 of 23 from the field, had 19 rebounds as well, because why not? Why not do everything?
Why not?
She had an index of 48. And Chelsea Shumpert had 29 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. And Manchester just didn't really kind of have an answer for them in that game. Going into halftime, Manchester were down 6. They were holding their own against them. The second half just kind of petered away a little bit. Georgia Jones for the Mystics, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and Helen Naylor had 14 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. And speaking with Helen Naylor after the game, she was saying they weren't obviously very happy about their defense, giving up that many points, and especially giving up that many points to 2 players, allowing them to score like that. But she said, sort of going forward, they're going to be finding their positions and things. They're still missing a few players from either injury and work commitments and things like that. So they've not actually had the full squad out there. And they were going into the league in, I think their first home game was the 12th against Newcastle. So, hopefully by that time they can just put the cup behind them and work on focusing on the league.
What are you doing? Were you there? Were you at the game? Were you courtside? What were you at home watching on telly? What was going on?
I was at the game. Me and Adam from Brand 161. We're trying out a little bit of streaming, some technical issues, not the right equipment and things. Trying a little bit of commentary over it, a bit of a practice. So there's a very, very rough version of it out there on YouTube if anybody wants to see that. But we're going to try and be. We're going to be down there at the games, and me and Adam are going to be doing some post-game interviews, some halftime interviews, pre-show roundup of Mystics basketball, any of those games going on that day, which we will provide details of near the time, what channel that's going to be on. But we're going to be out there bringing you as much Mystics content as we can, because, well, we love Manchester basketball. I love all basketball, but it's yeah.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Seen some of those interviews, heard some of the commentary the other day. Really, really exciting time for you as part of the FocusHoops team. FocusHoops going over there.
Definitely.
With the Mystics. Okay, 2 games this weekend in WBBL Cup. Sevenoaks taking on Nottingham on the 5th. That is Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Sunday's also Saturday. Leicester taking on the Cardiff Met Archers, also in the semi-final. Cardiff in the final.
This was a weird twist, wasn't it?
I'm excited.
Cardiff getting
Michael Hunter Morris, very excited in group chat. He was amped for it. He was giving us the lowdown every second. He was just like, "No, this has happened. No, this has happened." Working out the pyramid. It's outrageous. That is your semi-final lineup. Those are going to be 2 fantastic games, and whoever goes to the final, it's going to be a great cup final. It's going to be a really exciting cup final, and I can't wait. Caz, can give you a very quick Caz corner, because again, looking at the time, one piece of Caz corner, and I think we're going to save a big European roundup for after the round's completely finished, and we'll talk about that next week.
So for my Caz corner, can I give you stat line of the week for you to pick again?
Oh, yes.
From around the world. I've gone all over all the countries. I've been to every single country that exists. Gone to every single basketball game. Looked at all the stats. Okay, number 1, Australia. Liz Cambage, 17 minutes, 29 points, 12 of 16 shooting, 6 rebounds, a steal, and probably a technical. Okay.
Okay, that's pretty strong.
Yeah. Again in Australia, because this was the country that was throwing the stats at me.
Mm-hmm.
Ezi Magbagor.
I think that's what we're going with now.
I think I may have been pronouncing this wrong the entire season. 23 points, 10 of 11 shooting, 11 rebounds. And then let's bring it back home. Bring it back down to the UK.
Ooh.
Renee Bush. 25 points, 9 of 9.
International Renee Bush. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
25 points, 9 of 9 from the field, And you think, yeah, 9 of 9, yeah, that's pretty good. 7 of those were 3-pointers. She went 7 of 7 from 3 and 2 of 2 from the field. In a win. They were all wins. Who is your stat line of the week?
My stat line of the week. Give me Cambogia's percentage.
12 of 16.
It's Wnba Bush.
Yeah, that's
Wnba
right. That was
Wnba Bush, like
7 of 7 from 3.
I cannot believe that, and I've not been told this by Caz and Daz. I cannot believe I'm going against any other than Liz Cambage, but Wnba Bush, stat line of the week. We need a graphic for that as well. But again, we don't make this, this is on the spur. This is on the spot by spin right here. I love it. Absolutely love it. Caz.
And one last thing. WNBA Draft is tomorrow night. And the Dallas Wings have appointed Vicki Johnson as their head coach.
That's all exciting news. And it's an actual lottery, as in they pick 4 balls come out. If you check your ticket, is it on my massive, 1,000 tickets or however many? Yes, great. I've got number 1 overall. And then the second pick comes out. And then whoever was the worst team of the remaining 2 gets the 3rd pick. And then the 4th pick goes to the team that didn't get any love during that whole process.
And Atlanta are going to get the 1st pick. And then we're going to match someone up with Kennedy Carter. And they're just going to be it's going to be amazing.
It's not going to happen. It's a Dallas Wing world, and we're all just living in it.
It does seem that way.
It's because I decided what's on the show. Okay. All right, that's going to do it for the Caz and Daz show for this week. Thank you so much to Robyn Love. Thank you so much to everybody in the comments. It's been absolutely wonderful. Hayley Love, Aya Kitchen Channel, of course, Tina Gordon getting involved as well. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here every single week, every single Thursday from 8 p.m. unless otherwise stated. And I think next week is going to be a slightly later start, but we will keep you posted. Next week, we promise you a big European roundup. Okay. TTT Riga, we're going to have some things to say about TTT Riga. That's what I'm going to say. We're done. Caz, tell them where they can find you on the internet.
Oh, no. Hooping Cazzy B. Why can't I remember this?
I don't know.
I'm Hooping Cazzy B on Twitter, on Instagram.
CB
3 hoops. CB 3 hoops. I'll get this down. I'll get it really slick and smooth next week.
It's gonna be beautiful. I'm on Twitter at @Search. Of course, follow us Focus Hoops on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those usual locations. Always, of course, check out our website. We've got the list of all of the women's links to women's games that you can find. We're going to add the wheelchair basketball to that as well. Go and check that out if you're ever looking do you know what I could go for right now? A bit of high quality women's basketball. Boy, do we have a list for you. Check it out on the website. It's literally the first item on there. It's pinned to the top of the page. Tomorrow, we have the Vicki Gray interview. It lands tomorrow evening. Super excited for that. That was such a fun interview. On the scale of 1 to 10, it was about a 15 on the fun index. So really excited for that one.
She's got some stories.
She's got some stories. And of course, we interviewed the amazing Brit Smart, Be Smart Athletic on Sunday morning at the painfully early time of 7 a.m. That's on our YouTube as well. And it's also on Spotify, available as a podcast or wherever you get your podcasts from. So do please check them out. And also on Focus Hoops, Facebook, YouTube, the website, and our Split Focus Sports podcast network. We've got loads of hours of podcast interviews, Caz and Daz show, WNBA stuff. There's loads of content there. Really hope you get involved. Really hope you enjoy it. Niall Gray says, hopefully live YouTube coverage of Sevenoaks Suns versus Nottingham Wildcats this Saturday. Yes. Fingers crossed.
It's what we need.
It is what we need. Niall Gray is the man with the news there. I think that's all we're going to say. And also, don't forget, it's not just WBBL. No. We've got WNBL coming up. Anglia Ruskin University taking on Team Silent Kestrel at Kelsey Kerridge, 5:30 tip-off, Focus Hoops. Be there, check it out. I'm commentating. It's going to be wonderful. Can't wait for it. Caz?
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. All right. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Thanks again to Robyn Love. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Have a good one. We'll speak to you later.